Hey everyone, Ryan from Ebike Escape.
And JT from Ebike Escape.
And in this video, we're super pumped to unbox and give you a first look at the brand new Rad Power Bikes RadTrike. So let's get into it. Before we get into unboxing this electric bike, if you are looking to purchase any Rad Power Bike, please do us one quick favor and use our link in the description before you make your purchase. It's a free and easy way to help support the channel and makes videos like this one possible. Thank you so much for your support. Other resources will be down in the description as well. With that, I think we should unbox the first trike from Rad Power Bikes.
The first trike we have ever seen as well. So I'm pretty excited to see.
I want to get your opinion first on the size of this box.
So if Ryan did, if it didn't say trike on the box, I probably wouldn't believe that there's a trike in here. So what do we measured it to be certain. It barely fit through my shop door. And it's 33 by 35 by 24, 25 and a half. But I did not believe that there was a trike in this box. And I cannot wait to see how much assembly we have to do to get this thing out. So there is a cool thing too we noticed on the top here. You take out these white plastic plugs here, and then you can completely lift the top portion of the box off.
So being that this is a regular or oversized box, this ships just like all of the other Rad Power Bikes models. FedEx brought the bike, and again, I was shocked when I saw the size. So I cannot wait to see what the size of this thing is.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So it looks like it comes apart. Okay, so you have two slotted holes, so the front portion of the bike does come off. And obviously, with this being a trike, there's not two motors in the rear. There's only gonna be your single motor in the front. And then it looks like all of your electronics are kind of on the front half. So you have your battery, all your controls and everything are gonna be on this front portion of the bike. And then it looks like down here, we have the rear portion with the controller on it. So you do have a couple plugs down here to plug in and off. So this is pretty cool. Oh, there we go. There's our first look at it.
Let's start with the manual. I believe there's a quick start guide in there.
All right, let's get that out. Ryan and I aren't used to using manuals, so please bear with us. Oh, there is. Oh, look at this. Oh, these are nice, like firm paper here. This is kind of nice to see. Let's see. Oh, it gives you stuff to check: braking, stopping, uphill, power your ride. Oh, these are the safety templates. Let's see. Then we have the manual itself. So it shows taking the top of the box off. Remove the battery, and take that off so you get that out of your way. And then you just kind of lift it up and you have the entire bottom assembled right here. Let's see what it looks like once you take the top off.
So according to Rad Power Bikes, this bike has been in the works for multiple years. So a lot of time and effort went into developing this electric bike. And we should also talk about the price. It is priced at $24.99. So this is a step up price-wise compared to the Rad Rover 6 Plus and the Rad City 5 Plus. But again, this is a trike. And if you aren't already familiar with Rad Power Bikes, the ethos of the company is accessibility. And I personally believe that the trike speaks to accessibility more than any other electric bike, getting more people on electric bikes, so I'm a huge fan of that. So remove the battery there, turn the key to the left.
And the battery slides right off. It doesn't. Some people out there will be happy to see it has removable battery fuses here. Nice to see, so we'll get that out of the way for safety.
And for those curious, this is a 48 volt, 10 amp hour battery. This is a refresh of what was previously the Rad Mission battery.
All right, and then here we go. So it looks like we just undid a couple zip ties and the whole front end here lifts up and out of the box. We'll set this down to the side.
You can tell that Rad Power Bikes spent a ton of time Jenga-ing these pieces of cardboard to get everything to fit in just so.
I mean, so this is your toolbox here. Oh yeah, so here's another cool thing is the seat. Look at that. So this bike is definitely meant for comfort, long rides, and for somebody that can't ride your typical bike. I think is definitely what this seat and being a trike in general is what it's hinting at.
And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe because we are going to have a full review on this electric bike once we get a bunch of miles under us and talk about all the specs, how the bike works, go through all the features. But I think we should finish up and get this bike together.
All right, so here we go. We got our box here that has all of the accessories and things in it. So, all right, let's see what we got. We've got a headlight here. a new charger. Oh, this is a new charger?
It came with the it comes with some of the Rad Rover 6 Pluses from my experience.
Okay, so this is kind of cool. So it has an orange cable, but it also comes with a wall mountable bracket, so you could mount this on your wall to have it. But the orange cord is just kind of cool. You'll always know which one is the Rad charger with that. And then some of the other standard things we've got, we have our bolts and things that we need for assembly, and our tried and true plastic Welgo pedals. And then Ryan will take a look here at the toolkit.
Same toolkit that we see on many of the Rad Power bikes, and they do give you the handy tool for adjusting the brake pads on the mechanical disc brakes.
When there's a motor blocking the back of it, I'm not saying which, in this bike will not be the rear, it'll be the front disc brake. So, and something else that I actually saw that was very interesting is it only has a single brake lever. So I think that means that it only has a brake in the front.
Coaster brakes in the rear.
Coaster brakes in the rear. If anybody remembers being a kid on your bike and sliding it backwards to slide the rear end around.
And of course, we'll talk more about that in the full review, but that's for accessibility because a lot of people have sensitive hands, so you can just pedal backwards. And if you're wondering, well, then how do you go backwards? Well, there's a reverse, and we'll show that off.
I can't wait to try that. Does it beep?
I don't know, I hope so.
Let's see, it is electric, right? Let's see. And then, yeah, the other thing I think for coaster brakes for accessibility, and then being able to disconnect the front from the rear. If there was a cable in the way, you'd really be limited with that, so.
So not surprising, the width of the box, I mean, there's maybe there's a centimeter or so of cardboard here on each side, but the width of the box is going to be the width of the bike, which means that this bike should fit in doorways around the 33-inch mark.
Rad has put some thought into how to assemble this. You have your 2 slotted holes on the bottom and your 2 normal bolt holes on the front. So on their box here, it is constructed, I think, for you to be able to use this as a kickstand per se. So yeah, you're just gonna loosen those 2 bolts and you just slide it right down and on. And they're a 6mm bolt there for anybody that's curious.
And stay tuned until the end of the video and we'll see how this fits in our van. Of course, we can always disassemble it if we need to. So you're basically looking at tightening these 2 bolts, and then the bottom bolts you can back off a little bit if you wanted to disassemble it. Obviously not a quick release here, but for rigidity on a trike, I'm actually really happy that they just went on bolt-on. There's gonna be no frame flexing. Another note, I'm not sure if you're aware of this is a steel frame, it's not aluminum.
We hadn't picked it up yet, but I did think the box was a little heavy, so that makes sense.
One thing I'll point out, given we were just talking about the bike coming in half, all of these connections here are quick release connections. Now the way they are able to do that is, of course, you have the controller external in the rear here, but then you have the battery and the motor up front. So all of the electronics can kind of be in the front of the bike and connect up to that controller. So if you do need to transport this bike, is going to be easier than it otherwise would. Of course, if you had a motor in the rear, other cables, brake cables, things like that in the rear.
Yeah, and I think out of all of the electric trikes that I kind of looked at before this, none of them, a lot of them have the motors in the front, but none of them have this much thought into portability and like ability to disassemble and stuff like that. They're all just massive steel trikes that you see people riding that they basically just slapped a motor into. So yeah, so I'm just gonna tighten down these. And these connectors down here, they're called Juliet connectors. And another thing that we noticed too, looking at them, is they're all different sizes. So the likelihood of you being able to put them in incorrectly is wrong. One thing I do know you have to be careful of, not so much on this bigger one, but if you look on this small connector, some of these smaller ones, the pins are a little small, but there's a key. And there's also arrows on the outside. So you line the arrows up and they should click together. All right, we'll go ahead and throw these handlebars on up here. Just gonna grab the bolts out of the toolkit.
These handlebars are very similar, if not the same, as the ones found on the Rad Expand that we have over here.
Yeah, it definitely looks like, I mean, almost looks like the same. It's the same stem assembly and everything from the Rad Expand, which was one of my favorite handlebar setups, so excited to see that.
One of the cool things, the wheels are pre-installed, so you don't have to attach that. Even the front wheel with that motor, not having to assemble. That is really nice. You can see they have these super beefy torque arms up here, and these are 18-inch wheels. JT's going to install the stem here. This is a common thing you have to do assembling any electric bike.
Yeah, just throwing the front plate on here, getting the handlebars just kind of mocked up. Just throwing 2 of the bolts in to hold it. We'll get the handlebars centered and then we'll tighten it up. And you want to try and tighten these evenly. And obviously this is where you can angle the handlebars front and back per se to fit your needs, for comfort that is. Oh, one thing I noticed too, there's bolts here for rear fenders. So the bike comes equipped with front and rear fenders. Always nice to see.
Now before we end this video, we'll talk a little bit more about accessibility. I actually want to put this step through next to the other Rad Power bikes and just show off how much Rad Power bikes thought about accessibility when it comes to this electric bike. You can see the frame actually goes below the guard.
Let's go ahead, we'll pull this off the box and then we'll plug those couple Juliet connectors in and I guess throw the rear fenders on, which I assume are underneath the rear wheels there. All right, go ahead and pick this up. Oh yeah, there we go. Right,
how's it feel weight-wise?
You know, you imagine a trike, it's gonna weigh a lot, but it's not that bad per se. I mean, it's probably not any more than some of the other bigger bikes that we've had. I mean, this is probably in the 60s, like 70-ish pound range.
82 pounds.
Okay, 82. I was thinking high 70s, so I was close. But yeah, 82 pounds. I also don't have the battery. Let's find those fenders. Oh my gosh. Look, look at this. They used angled cardboard here to be able to lock the sides and use as like almost wheel stops. Just some very interesting choices they made for box rigidity and stuff. It's really cool to see. I used to work in packing and shipping and things like that. So seeing this kind of stuff, I'm like, somebody put a lot of thought into designing this box alone.
I was gonna say, I think there's almost like a degree for packaging.
Yeah.
Like there's a specialty just for packaging consumer products.
Yeah. So, all right, and here is our fenders. There you go. Looks like you're just gonna put a couple bolts on those. All right, Ryan's just pretty much wrapping up the fenders here.
I have to have a seat.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Lean back. How's that feel?
I think I'm ready to go. I think we should take it out in the snow right now.
Ryan, you make that bike look tiny. It's already a very small trike, but man, you definitely dwarf it.
I think I need to put the seat up.
Yeah, so here's just a kind of a close-up of everything. And so back here in the back, you'll notice too, it's got some bosses here for some baskets and other accessories. Then you've got the nice cover down there on your coaster brake and chain. And then taking a close look at these wheels, they are removable in here by a nut. I probably wouldn't recommend that. They're not quick release or anything, but you can just look back there and you can see the size of that bearing. Ryan, what is the weight capacity on this?
I believe it's 415 pounds.
415 pounds, wow, that's...
For a frame that's, gosh, I can't believe how light this thing is. It's very impressive. All right, first startup.
Sorry, I was playing already. So one of the things about this bike that Ryan told me about that I'm like, I immediately have to try, it has a reverse. So the way that works is on the down button, you hold it, shows an R on the screen, and then you simply twist the throttle, and it goes backwards. I had to try that out first go. And then to get it out, you just simply push up. And then when you're going down to 1 or anywhere, you have to hold the lower button to get it into reverse. So pretty cool.
What did we say the max capacity was?
415.
Oh, let's give it a try.
All right, let's go.
We got the RadTrike lined up against two of the other popular Rad Power Bikes model. Of course, the Rad Rover 6 Plus Fat Tire electric bike and the Rad Expand 5 that came out earlier this year. And it's amazing how short the wheelbase is on the RadTrike.
I think if you were to imagine Rad bikes prior to this time, you'd be like, oh, okay, the Rad Rover's on the high end and the Rad Expand is on the low end. Now you have the RadTrike. It is smaller in lengthwise than both of them. Obviously a little bit wider, but it is smaller lengthwise than both of the bikes. It's also actually, I think, probably a little bit lower in height than the Rad Expand 5.
Just briefly, size-wise, I raised the seat to its minimum insertion point, which means it's the highest it could go, and I was still able to get nearly full leg extension so I could comfortably pedal this bike.
One thing to call out too with that height and pedal extension, this is how low the pedals get to the ground. You probably have, I don't know, 2 or 3 fingers below that pedal to the ground. Now, this is not a bike that you're gonna be taking off-road or doing anything like that, but it is something that we noticed on the bike. So in order for them to get that super low step over height, that is something that they had to give up. Now, once the pedals are level with the frame, you still have plenty of ground clearance, that it should not be an issue.
And look at the compared to the Rad Rover 6 Plus.
Oh, I mean, it's not even all the way, it's like not even level with it, and it is still, I mean, you probably have a foot or two in front of it. All right, and like we said, we are gonna try and fit the trike in the back of Ryan's Ford Transit. Start with folding the handlebars here. Give us that little bit extra height clearance, maybe even drop the seat down, even though I was last one on it, not Ryan. Oh, Ryan's gonna take the battery off here, and there we go. So this is how low, it gets a pretty low profile. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the seat down. You can even simply pull the seat out to give yourself the most clearance here.
I'm gonna try to lift it myself.
There you go.
Now we did fold down these seats.
We determined that the length of this bike is about 5 feet from tire to widest, longest point in the back.
One thing I'll also do is engage the parking brake to prevent the bike from moving around while I'm driving. It's hard to believe I have an electric trike in the back of my vehicle. All you compact SUV owners or large SUV owners or van owners like myself might want to take some measurements, see if this bike might fit in your rear of your vehicle so you can take it on some adventures.
It's definitely not what I would have expected Rad to come out with. I know I've seen quite a few people ask other companies about making a electric trike, and this is pretty cool. I'm excited to see, and also our little bit of soireeing of this around the shop. It actually is not as unstable as I would have imagined it is. It's actually pretty comfortable, and it definitely is comfortable. Like you can pretty much turn it to the side and it goes without a problem. It is a little interesting having the motor in the front because it's pulling you everywhere, but it's a fun thing. I'm excited to, it is not something I think Ryan and I will be riding around all the time on, but it is very cool that they are making something like that to give other people the option to ride.
All right, link it down in the description if you're looking at purchasing a RadTrike. We really appreciate your support.
Yeah.
It helps us continue to make videos like this one. And stay tuned for our full review on the Rad Power Bikes RadTrike.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in that one.
See ya.